Welcome to the first ever episode of Let's Talk New Cars. I'm Rakesh Shah, your host, and will be educating and informing you about two very special cars to the American population today. These two cars we're going to be investigating are the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord. While many car comparisons focus on the engine and performance solely, Let's Talk Cars is going to complete the story by telling you everything you need to know, not only about the engine, but also about the eco-friendliness and the interior and exterior design. To compare these cars, we've come up with an awesome idea. Why don't we compare these two cars in the first ever Let's Talk New Cars challenge? These two staples of the American population are going to face off in an epic competition to settle this dispute of whether the Camry is better or whether the Accord is better. The first ever two sedan challenge would be based on 4 criteria. First being engine performance, weighing in at 10 points. The interior quality and design is also worth 10 points. The exterior design and quality will be based on a 10-point scale, just like the first two. The eco-friendliness is worth 5 points, however, totaling it all at 35 points, and the winner will be crowned. The all-new 2015 Camry features a standard 2.5-liter straight 478 horsepower engine. While this option does the job, Toyota offers the top-of-the-line XLE model with a 3.5-liter V6 engine. While the SE model has a sufficient engine, the engine reminds drivers often of the engine of a Prius. If you're looking for a bit more punch, I would recommend strongly considering the V6 option in the XSE or XLE models. In terms of engine efficiency, the all-new Camry gets a standard 25 mpg city and 35 mpg highway. Compared to the Accord, Camry gets extra points for the highest city fuel efficiency. Therefore, with the reliable but relatively weak engine, the Camry is awarded 7 points out of 10 to put it to an early lead. The Camry is often thought to be the cozy, comfortable family car, but Toyota has gone for a refresh this time with the new sporty look of the Camry. The all-new 2015 Camry has a complete interior refresh, which is completely necessary because the consumers expect more with these increasing car prices. Firstly, the dashboard sees a new upgrade with the black background and metallic buttons. Toyota features a standard backup camera along with the easy-to-use multi-information display. The curved dashboard panel and silver trim makes this car look more than just a boring family car, but rather a more exciting sports sedan. Toyota is also boasting the new sporty red stitching in the XLE model, featured in multiple commercials they've produced. While this is a great refresh and a much-needed one thing I outright dislike about this car is the climate display. This car isn't a 2005 rental car and doesn't need the boring LCD display. It has this new multi-information display and should take advantage of it by putting the climate controls there to make this car look more luxurious and look more refined. Overall, the Toyota Camry features a brand new interior that looks much better, and it's arguably the best interior they've ever produced for the Camry. What do I like about this? It's a new layout, looks more sporty, and it looks less like a boring sedan. What do I not like about this interior? Well, the steering wheel looks like it's mainly made out of plastic and looks really, really cheap. And also, as I said before, it can use the multi-information display a little bit better. Overall, this car gets an 8, which puts it at a total of 15 points. This car looks way more luxurious with the refresh. While many may argue that it looks like an elongated Corolla, it has the elements of the more expensive Toyota Avalon that makes it look more refined. What I like best about this exterior is the front, because it looks like it belongs on a Lexus. The spiderweb grille featured on the new Lexus IS vehicles is on the Camry, and the standard Xeon headlights makes it look more like the Accord's counterpart. Finally, Toyota has breathed some life into a car that has previously looked more boring and out of place with its competition. Another great highlight is the upgraded rims. Like the Corolla, the black and chrome rims look sporty and make the standard SE rims look out of place. Though it might not be cost effective, Toyota, if you're watching this, get the standard rims out of there because they're small and out of place compared to the other available upgrades. Because the all-new 2015 Camry features a brand new design that looks very good, I give this car a 9 because it doesn't look really bad like the old Camry and looks very similar to the very good looking Toyota Avalon. What I like from this car is the front view. The front looks very refined and looks very expensive for the type of car the Camry is. What I don't like about this car is the backlights and the rims. The backlights look very old and they look from the 90s, and the standard rims look out of place compared to the upgradable rims. However, this car is very good looking and deserves a 9. The Camry deserves 4 points for eco-friendliness, and here's why. The standard model comes with an engine that produces 25 miles per gallon in the city and 35 miles per gallon on highway. That's pretty reasonable because, if you really get creeping that V6 range, you're going to maybe get under 20 miles per gallon in the city, and I think this car does a good job of being a low emission vehicle, so the Camry is worth 4 points as a result. Now that it is confirmed that the Camry has put up 28 points out of the available 35, the Accord has its work cut out for it. Let's start with the engine. The base Accord has a straight 4 185 horsepower engine. That is 7 more horses than the Camry and somehow has better fuel economy. This sounds statistically better than the Camry, but to get the real results we have to read people's observations. The overall feel for people tends to be a little too comfortable. People want the comfortable ride from an Accord, but argue that it's just too sluggish and too comfortable of a feel, where it's not exciting. People really enjoyed the Camry's new sporty feel, and I think that's where they're coming from when they say the Accord is a little sluggish. Yes, this car is in a $60,000 saloon, and as a result is worth 8 points because it has more horses than the Camry and has better fuel economy. Now this is a nice interior. It looks like it's from a $40,000 to $50,000 Acura, and I'm not kidding. Look at the chrome trim and leather feel of the interior. Wow. My favorite part of this interior has to be the steering wheel. It draws you in. It wants you to drive this car. The shiny black feel makes it look sporty and sophisticated. Let me also point out the not only 1, but 2 screens. Why take away from navigation when you can put music on its own screen? Great job, Honda. The last favorite I have for this interior is a very minute detail, and that is the start button. What makes a car more enticing than a red start button? There's only 2 things I dislike here, and just like the Camry, they both have to do with the climate display. While it's cool to have the dash all compartmentalized, it takes away from the experience to have a boring digit display there, just like the Camry. Move the climate display to one of the screens. There's 2 of them. Secondly, and lastly, the silver buttons on the sides look cheap. I would make them shiny black color found on the steering wheel. Overall, I would give this Accord a 9.5 on the interior. Why did I rank it so high? Well, everything looks like it's high quality. The steering wheel looks sporty and it looks refined. What makes me want to drive the car most is by far the start button. It just looks really sporty and it looks really enticing. The only thing I would have to dock is that climate display and those plastic buttons. They're very minute details to the car, but overall this car is spot on and therefore worthy of a 9.5. This exterior is nice, but it's not as nice as the interior. What do I like? Well, I like the rims. They don't look boring like the past Accords, and they make the car look more sporty like the Camry. The headlights are also fine, and I have no complaints about the back. Except, while the car is good, I don't know why it's inferior to the Camry. I think the answer might lie in the curves of the car. The Camry has more rounder curves, more sporty appeal, while this car has more boxy appearance. It kind of looks like it's cheaper, but still looks nice. And That leads me to believe that this car isn't bad, but all I can say is it's not what the Camry is. In conclusion, I give this car a 7 because the exterior is nice. It is nice, but it just doesn't have the curves and doesn't have the sporty appeal that the Camry has, and as a result, I give it a 7. Final criteria of our challenge is the eco-friendliness of the Honda Accord. I give this car a 4.5 because it has better gas mileage than the Camry, which did get a 4. 27 miles per gallon city and 36 on the highway isn't too shabby. As a result, it's a 4.5, which means the Honda Accord is the first ever 2-sedan challenge winner. I think I'm shocked myself saying this, but now I'm not afraid to say the Honda Accord is probably the best family sedan out there. They turned it around this year. They really, with the new body shape, they really went for something amazing, and I really think the deal was sealed here with the interior. It's just beautiful, everything is well placed. And if you're out there looking for a family sedan, don't hesitate, trust my advice, go with the Accord.